What is going on, guys? So tonight I want to talk about something slightly different. Tonight we're going to talk about potentially the world's best investor. And by potentially, I mean, I thought I knew who the world's best investor was, and I think everyone would immediately jump to either Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, someone along those lines. But turns out it's someone actually called Jim Simmons. And I was like, my coworker told me about this today. Shout out to Uncle Raul if you're listening. He was like, yeah, man, blows Warren Buffett out of the water. George Soros, who literally, I was just like, what are you talking about? He pulls up an article. If this isn't the article he pulled up, it was something very similar. Actually, I think it was a different article, but I did check. This has some of the similar things I was reading that other article. Basically, this guy, average annual return since '88, when he started up one of his funds, 66% return after trading, 39% after fees. I'll repeat that. He got 66% annualized returns, 39% after fees. Now, this guy isn't your typical investor. This guy's doing a lot of different mathematics and things along those lines to be able to figure out when to buy. And one of the cool things that I read within this article is this guy actually loses on more than half of his trades. But what he does is he rides out the winners. So he's obviously doing derivatives and things along those lines to be able to make sure that the trades, less than half of his trades, actually come out profitable. So I don't know if that means he's setting like a stop loss at 0.5% or 0.25%, and he's waiting for the right time for it to buy. But this article basically talks about all the different things that he is investing in, but it also says that he basically sometimes can have up to 100,000 trades on at one time, and that's just basically the company algorithms basically working everything for him. Something that's also a little bit different, this guy's not generally a finance guru per se. He's actually a doctor in mathematics or some other sort of mathematics here. And he actually used to be a professor, so he quit being a professor at the age of 40, and ever since he's been trading these stocks. But this is just a really cool article. Then it kind of goes into things that you can learn about. This is a lot of stuff that I've said in some of my other videos, talking about knowing your investment strategy, sticking to it, going long, try not to play the stock market for short term like it's a casino or anything like that. Unless you have experience. But this massively outperforms people like Warren Buffett. So the reason why I think that this guy ended up doing a little bit less as good as Warren Buffett, while this guy is still a billionaire, I think that he shares a lot of his profits with his employees. So that respect, it's pretty interesting. I mean, this guy... real interesting, 81 years old, was basically a mathematics professor, and then eventually just started managing Renaissance Technologies. And real interesting. I mean, he's worth $21.5 billion. I had never heard of the guy before, so I'm just going to claim ignorance and just be like completely astonished by this. But I told my coworker, I was like, dude, I'm going home and making a video about this. Like, this is absurd. I was just kind of, and I had heard of people getting in the 30-ish% return before, but this guy's getting 66% before you start taking fees. Now, I know fees are a big deal, and people might say, oh, well, you can't really claim it's 66% returns because it's actually 39% after fees. But that 39%, I'm going to see if it actually has it in here or not, but the reason why it's only... 39 or 37%, I forget what it was, and I think it might be up here. No, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is. They charge an initial 5% fixed fee, and then they charge 44% of whatever you're winning. And by winning, probably not the right word. 44% of anything that you get returned to you. It used to be 20%, but after 2000, they increased it to 36%, and now it is 44%. So think about that. I mean, you pay the initial 5% flat fee, but then you charge 44% of whatever the returns are. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, if you just look at this thing, I mean, he's got $113 billion under management at this point. throughout the entire Renaissance Technologies. It's, about 60% of the size of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, which that in itself is pretty astonishing. And I'm just real surprised. I mean, if had this guy started at the same age of Warren Buffett, then in all honesty, he'd be way above Warren Buffett at this point. Warren Buffett started in his 20s, so this guy had about 15 years less in the market than Warren. But you also have to think that I believe that this guy was sharing his profits with a lot more of his employees. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought that was super interesting, and I pride myself in having a lot of investment knowledge and knowing a lot about some of the gurus and OGs or original massive investors within the market. And to hear a name that I never heard before, real interesting. I really honestly thought the guy was talking about someone from Simon Property Group, the real estate investment trust company. I was just like, oh, maybe he's that guy. And he was like, no, like this guy is a derivatives genius. Basically solved the stock market. So yeah, real interesting. Wanted to share that with you guys. Hope you learned something new today. I'm going to link and source the article down below. But there's also some videos on YouTube about this guy as well. So feel free to take a look. And wow, still really astonished. 66%. Think about that. If I were to be able to do that, I'd be able to retire very quickly and probably be hanging out with Warren Buffett talking about business. But just means I need to step my coding game up and see if I can match this guy's algorithms. But just like that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Hope you learned something. And if you have any other questions or comments, don't forget to leave them down below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys on the next video. Cheers.